See, David had to kill the lion. Samson had to kill the lion. All you got to do is teach your Torah. What are you going to be doing in the kingdom? You're going to be naming the animals and teaching them Torah. Because they're going to have the status that you and I have right now. And don't we need Torah? Don't we need to be taught Torah? So you and I are the ones who are going to be teaching the animals how to behave. We're not going to have to be taught how to behave because we'll be like the immortal angels. We'll know how to behave. I'm preaching today. I've got something to say today. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. I said 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 Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Look at verse 31. Concerning the resurrection of the dead, you have not read what was spoken to you by Elohim, saying, I am Elohim of Abraham, Elohim of Yitzchak, Elohim of Yaakov. Elohim is not the Elohim of the dead, but of the living. Hallelujah.
That's right.
It's a millennial preparation, not a prohibition against mixed garments. Yah limits Shatnetz to wool and linen because he expects us to get the point. Are you with me?
Yeah.
We will be like the angels, the Malachim.
Yeah.
The animals will be like us, and Eden will be restored.
Amen.
What happened in Eden? Adam and Eve were like the angels. They were never meant to die physically. They were never meant to die spiritually. The animals were the inheritance, and they were supposed to behave morally. They were made of the same substance. If they were made of the same substance, if they had the same origin, they were expected to behave equal to the human world and not to kill and destroy in Yahweh's set-apart garden, somebody. But all those things will be restored. And when we celebrate Shatnetz and observe Shatnetz, look at Matthew 22, in the resurrection. Oh, children of Yahweh, listen. In the resurrection, we're not going to be concerned about marriage, house building, house shopping, grocery shopping, fixing my VCR, getting the transmission fixed in my car. How am I going to get to shul? In that day, we will be like the Malachim of Elohim in the heavens. Are you with me? Like the Malachim. Shatnetz, a glimpse into the future. Shatnetz is a glimpse into what you will be, but are not yet. Well, you and I will be, but we're not yet. See, there's no silly law in the Torah. There's no silly law. They're just things we don't yet understand. Are you with me?
Yes.
Certain things we don't yet understand. So why would Yahweh pick on wool and linen? Why doesn't he say you can't wear denim jeans with a cotton shirt? Why doesn't he say you can't wear sneakers with a tank top? Because he doesn't have to go into detail. Where he expects us to get the point. The point is we are not going to be like we are now. In the resurrection of the righteous dead, we're going to be like the Malachim in heaven. And what do they wear? What do they wear?
White linen robes.
Thank you. The psalm says Yahweh cloaks himself in a garment, a talit of light. Why do we wear talits, men? I always pick on the ladies with head covering. I'm going to give you a break this week. Turn to the lady closest to you and say, he's going to give you a break this week.
He's going to give you a break.
Listen, man, I'm talking to you. Look at me. When you wear your talit, you are proclaiming things to come.
Yes.
You're saying, in that day, I will be cloaked with his garment. And there'll be no Shatnetz, it'll be 100% fine linen, the righteousness of the Kiddushim. 100% fine linen, the righteousness of the Kiddushim. So when we wear our talit, we're preparing for the millennium. But Rabbi, you don't understand. There are some congregations, not just churches, but there are some, listen, there are some Messianic congregations where they don't wear talits. Really. And those are the same congregations that maybe don't follow the kashrut laws. They're not prepared. We are preparing every time we put on our talit in the synagogue. We are preparing for that day when we'll be like the angels. What are the angels wearing today? Are the malachim naked right now? No. They're clothed in a garment of light, linen, light. Symbolized by the garment. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. If man desires to be dignified in the age to come, he must have sensitivity. He must have the sensitivity now. So when the future elevation comes of the animal kingdom, he must practice sensitivity and grace now. There's grace. People say, I don't see the grace in the law, brother. Yahweh wants you to chill out on eating and killing animals. I'm not condemning everybody who I eat meat. I'm not condemning everybody. Even though I'm getting into Ezekiel bread. Pretty soon my wife's going to have me on. She's going to have me be a herbivore. That's me, Rabbi Herb. Have you seen Rabbi Herb? Yeah, he's in the back eating herbivores.
Rabbi Herbivore.
Now let me show you grace in the Torah. Yahweh is preparing our sensitivity to the animals when? In the age to come. Now, if he is preparing our sensitivity, who benefits from that sensitivity? Who benefits from that sensitivity? The animals. And we do too. There's grace, chesed. There's no grace in the Torah. That's why I'm leaving your synagogue, man. I'm going to Bible-believing church. As if, what do we believe in? Excuse me, but what do we believe in? Because there's no grace. Well, yes, Yeshua manifested grace in the flesh, but the grace he manifested was exhibited first in the chuk of Shatnetz. If Yahweh is dealing with our sensitivity toward animals, preparing us to lead them, and preparing them to leave the animalistic behavior and elevate them as he elevates us to messengers, is not that grace? You explain. I'll sit here while you explain to me what grace is. Grace is unmerited favor. He's giving us the unmerited favor of being more like the angels, preparing us, and the animals to be more like us. That's grace, chesed. And where do we find that? Vayikra 19:19. Devarim 22:12. That's where we find it. Not in Matthew, not in Mark. Now all the grace, the chesed of the Torah, popped into flesh in the good news.
Amen.
It was always there, but it popped into flesh. Turn to your neighbor and say, popped into flesh.
Popped into flesh.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh.
Hashem Yahweh.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh. And we close with this. We close with this.
First close.
We close with this. I'm waiting for someone to get it right. We close with this. Habakkuk, as in hook. If you get the page, just please shout. Habakkuk.
Oh, Habakkuk.
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 Thank you, brother. Now you know why Roberto's a shamish.
He finds pages.
Sharp. Sharp man. Habakkuk.
Habakkuk.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh. In the renewal, man will rename creation. The same way Adam and Chava named the animals, you and I will rename creation. But in order to be honored and privileged to rename creation, the curse of the garden must be broken. The curse of the garden must be reversed. And it is reversed in us who are experiencing grace as Yahweh makes us sensitive to our position of leadership in the age to come. You listen to me. The Torah of Shatnetz is to make you sensitive and prepare you for leadership. Every one of you in this room will be leaders. And you'll not just be teaching humanity, lost humanity, unregenerate humanity over which you will rule and reign. You'll be teaching the animals to behave with sensitivity like Yahweh your Father taught you to behave with sensitivity. Are you with me? Are you with me? And here's the grace. We're, instead of being rough with the animals, instead of just killing whatever we want and putting it on, all these animal activists have this ethical question regarding the validity of killing animals to eat and to wear. And Yahweh says, I've got you covered. I was more concerned about that before you were even created. Before you were even born, I was already concerned about that. That's love. That's love. Yahweh doesn't just love humanity. He loves all his creation. Because both Behemoth and Adam Bechava came from the same origin and were destined for the same destiny. You listen to me now. Listen to what I'm saying, brothers and sisters. We come from the same origin and we are destined for the same destiny. We will inherit the same earth from which...
Hallelujah.
We will inherit the same earth from which we were taken. We were taken from the same earth. Humanity has an attitude toward animals. We've got an attitude. And Yahweh says, I gave my hook. Makes no sense in the Pashat, but in the Remez, here's the point. Get sensitive now, because you'll be teaching them my Torah in the age to come. Are you with me?
Yes.
And they tell us Torah is not for today. Yeshua said, let me tell you how much it is for today. If you teach brothers and sisters that even what appears to be unimportant or the least of the hooks, that you don't make sense, that you can't get straight, that you can't put your finger on. If you go around teaching your brothers and sisters that these things are the least, Yeshua said, if you teach that the least of the commandments have been done away with, he said, you'll be least in the kingdom of Yahweh. This may not be as big as worship. This might be big as not committing adultery. This may not be as big as having no idolatry in your life. But even the sensitivity toward animals is so important that if we don't teach this to our fellow brothers and sisters from Ephraim and Yehudah, Yahweh says you'll be least in the kingdom of Yahweh. How many know it's okay to be great in the kingdom of Yahweh?
Yes.
To aspire and long for greatness. But how do you become great? A, by being the servant of all, and B, by teaching others the least, not just the great of the commands.
Amen.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh.
Amen.
Habakkuk, second close, 2:14. 2:14. So next time you fill out a job application, and it says job desired. You ever hear that? You ever come to that line in the job application? It says job desired. You know what to write now, right? Kingdom transformer. Herbivore trainer. You get home and your family says, what would you learn in shul today? I learned how to train herbivores. How to raise up herbivores, turn carnivores into herbivores. Really? Oh, you mean you're going to preach the gospel to the animals? No, I'm going to give them Torah. And be sensitive to them so that they can be sensitive to me when I teach them and lead them in the kingdom. For a little child, it is written, shall lead them. I feel preachy today. Not peachy, preachy. Habakkuk 2:14. For the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the esteem of Yahweh, as waters cover the sea. The knowledge of Yahweh, the earth will be filled with the knowledge of Yahweh, as waters cover the sea. We will know what it's like to be angels, like angels, immortal, resurrected beings. They will know what it's like to be free moral agents with a living nefesh and the ability to choose between right and wrong. And in that day, there will be one king. In that day, his name shall be one. In that day, all of Torah will come to light. All of Torah will make sense. All of Torah will have meaning. And all of Torah will have been revealed.
Amen.
Father Yahweh, we thank you, Abba Yahweh. In the name of Yahshua. In the name of Yahshua, our Moshiach and our Melech. And we are Yisrael, please, if you would come forward. Oh, Abba Yahweh, we are so grateful for developing in us not only a sensitivity toward your creation, but Abba Yahweh, an understanding that nothing written in Torah has been nailed to the tree. And Father, we are desperate for that understanding and the reinforcement of that understanding. And Father, we know on Shabbat we come for weekly remembrance, weekly rehearsal. That before the animal rights activists were raised up in the world, you were there. And even in your Torah, how you love your creation regardless of their status. And how in this age, if we only follow your Torah, which is the constitution of Yehuda and Ephraim, how, Father, we will be sensitive toward one another, toward the things of the Ruach, toward the gifts of the Ruach, and toward the plan for the age to come. Father, we now see the law of Shatnetz. We are forbidden to do Shatnetz, to mix a garment of wool and linen. Father, we see that this is not a prohibition against mixing threads in general, as traditional Judaism teaches, but that it is a specific hook designed to give us a glimpse into the future, when all things will be restored, when the restoration of all things will take place. For it is written that Yeshua is seated at the right hand of Abba Yahweh, waiting for the restoration of all things. Father, we remember in Bereshit 2:19 how the animals that were come from the same substance as man were brought to Adam B'Chava, and they named. And none of the animals turned upon their master. And none of them rendered their masters. And how the animals were subject to the laws of paradise. And so, Father, we see this hook now, not as legalism, but, Father, we see this hook as a law of paradise.
Yes.
Oh, Abba Yahweh. We see this hook that used to make no sense to us as a law of paradise and paradise restored to come. I want everyone standing, please. Everyone standing. Oh, Todah Rabba Yahweh. Oh, Todah Rabba Yahweh. Todah Rabba Yahweh. Wonderful, wonderful Yahweh. Thy Torah is a lamp unto my feet.
Yes, it is. Hallelujah.
And a light to my path. As it is written in Tehillim 119, 142, thy Torah is truth. And Father, you sent your son Yahshua. And in Revelation 22, we see Eden restored. And the river in the middle flowing on each side, the trees of life. So, Father, we thank you this day that you have taught us. You have taught us from your word. You have enlightened our path from your word. You have given us illumination, Zohar, from your word. Oh, Abba Yahweh, we give you all the kavod, all the kavod, all the hod, all the praise. Hodu le Yahweh ki tov, ki leolam chasdo. Todah Rabba Yahweh. Todah Rabba Yahweh. B'shem Yeshua Mashiachenu. Kol ha'kehila imru, Amen. Ve. Amen.